Okay, picking up where we left off on the test study guide. Our right triangle, special right triangle relationships. If these two sides are the same, we've got a 45, 45, 90 triangle, and we know that the side lengths are going to be the x, and our hypotenuse is going to be x radical 2. I will provide you with this formula for the test tomorrow, 45, 45, 90. I will draw a picture and provide you with this formula on the overhead for the test tomorrow. I'll do the same thing with the 30, 60, 90. And again, I'll let you guys know as I go through this video what formulas I will present to you for tomorrow. 30, 60, 90. The shortest leg, the one that's across from the 30-degree angle, let's call that our x. If the shortest leg is x, the hypotenuse is 2x, and your longer leg is x radical 3. So we'll use these, some of them in combination. Do we have them? Nope, we don't actually. All in isolation here. We don't have any of the triangles that are built onto each other where you have to find one part and then another. Remind me, you guys, at the end to look at the test and see if there is any of those embedded, where you've got like a 45 sharing a side with a 30, 60, 90. Number 11. Number 11 is a 45, 45, 90. X would be the same as this other leg, so that's going to be 5. Y would be 5 radical 2. I'm going to round that to 7.1. 5 radical 2 is approximately 7.1. In number 12, I actually have the shortest leg, so I have the x value. I double it to get the hypotenuse. I multiply it by radical 3 to get the other leg. So x is 18. Y is 9 radical 3. 9 radical 3 is approximately 15.6. Honestly, since these problems aren't in context, these answers are better. They're exact. There's no context to this. You don't want to talk about something like 9 radical 3 feet if it's not in context. If it's in context and you have a measurement, feet, miles, something like that, round it so it makes sense. You know, if I see 9 radical 3, I don't think, oh, that's about 15 and a half. I don't, you know, we don't think like that with radicals. Number 13, 30, 60, 90. I have the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse represents 2 times my x value. Well, actually, in this case, I shouldn't use x. I'm going to use 2 times y, because the way a 30, 60, 90 works, let's call this one y, just for it already is. This would be 2y. This would be y radical 3. So our y value must be 11. If 2 times y is 22, y must be 11. X would then be 11 radical 3. That's approximately 19.1. But again, no context to this problem. Better to have an exact answer. Number 14. 14, we know that in a 45, 45, 90, the 2 legs are the same. And the hypotenuse, so we could call these both x. I'm just going to do it. Both of these are x. The hypotenuse would be equal to x radical 2. So what I need to do is say 16 equals x radical 2. And I need to solve for x. Divide 16 by radical 2. X is approximately 11.3. Put that right here. I could actually rationalize this denominator because remember we don't like to, so if x is 16 radical 2, we don't want to have any radicals in the denominator. Follow me through this rationalization. Does anybody remember what to do? Ayana.
Multiply by radical 2.
I'm going to multiply by radical 2 in the top and the bottom. It's like multiplying by 1. 16 times radical 2 over radical 2. Nothing's changing about this fraction because it's like I'm taking this fraction and saying multiply it by 1. 16 radical 2 over radical 2 times radical 2 is just 2. So an exact answer on this one would be 8 radical 2. 8 comes from 16 divided by 2. So exact answer on these would be 8 radical 2, both of them. Rationalizing a denominator, that's a skill that you guys definitely need to carry with you into pre-calc. I'm going to stop right there for a second because that's probably not on your page. All right, moving along here. In number 15, My little box might not be enough space here for me. In number 15, what do we have? The short leg. If I said x is this one, this would be 2x. This would be x radical 3. So I got to go figure out what x is. 42 equals x radical 3. X must be 42 over radical 3. X is 42 over radical 3. Y would be twice that. Y would be 84 over radical 3. Why don't we rationalize both of these? I think it makes the most sense. 84 radical 3, I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by radical 3. I'm going to get 84 radical 3 over 3. Can you guys simplify 84 thirds? Tell me what that is. 84 divided by 3. I don't know if it reduces real nice. Is it? So we could call y then 28 radical 3. 3 goes into 84 28 times. 28 radical 3. That would be approximately, does anybody have the decimal? More than 40.
48.5.
There we go. Cool. There's your approximate, but your exact would be 28 radical 3. Let me rationalize 42 radical 3. Multiply by radical 3, multiply by radical 3. 42 radical 3 over 3. How many times does 3 go into 42? 14. So x would be 14 radical 3 exactly. It'd be approximately 24.2 if you estimated. $16. I just dropped those in there without doing a whole lot of thinking. This is a 45, 45, 90. These two lengths are the same. The hypotenuse is that length times radical 2. So those lengths must have been 19. Gonna stop this one.